Leave the day behind. Take a slow, deep breath, and as you exhale, feel the tension in your shoulders and your jaw begin to dissolve, releasing its grip with a long, quiet sigh. Allow your thoughts to soften, to lose their sharp focus, becoming like clouds drifting slowly across a twilight sky. There is nothing for you to do. Nothing. Your only task is to listen, to feel, and to let go. Tonight, we do not travel to a place of cold stone or windswept hills. We travel to warmth. We journey back through the years, back through the centuries, to a place of deep, verdant green and air as thick and sweet as honey. And you have found your way to a perfect sanctuary, a place of profound and solitary peace. Just as the night begins to truly awaken, you are lying in a hammock, suspended in the warm, humid air of a Caribbean midnight. The hammock itself is a sturdy, reassuring presence, crafted from a single vast piece of heavy cream-colored canvas. Sit cradles your body completely, from the back of your knees to the nape of your neck, its thick fabric conforming to your shape, holding you with a firm but gentle embrace. You can feel the dense, cross-woven texture of the canvas against your bare arms and the backs of your legs, a slightly rough, organic surface that feels solid and dependable. The hammock is slung across a corner of a wide, wraparound veranda, a long gallery of dark, polished wood that encircles the main house. The thick ropes that hold you aloft are tied to two immense wooden posts, their fibers coarse and hairy, smelling faintly of salt and sun. As you allow your body to settle more deeply into the canvas sling, a gentle rhythmic motion begins, a slow and lazy swing from side to side. With each swing, the ropes protest with a deep, sonorous creak. It is not a sharp or alarming sound, but a low, resonant groan. Fey creak and sigh, creak and sigh. Asterisk. It is the sound of gentle resistance, of a weight being held securely, safely. It is a lullaby in wood and fibre, a rhythm that seems to match the slow, deep cadence of your own breathing. As you begin to relax, as you begin to let go. Just moments ago, the night was still and breathless, the air hanging heavy and hot, buzzing with the unseen life of the tropics. But then came a change, a sudden coolness, a whisper of wind that rustled the highest leaves of the palms, a scent of distant rain on dry earth. And now the heavens have opened. A sudden, torrential downpour has descended upon the plantation, a tropical deluge of astonishing force. The rain does not fall in drops, but in solid, wind-driven sheets, hammering against the world with a deafening roar. It strikes the thatched roof above the veranda with a sound that is both a deep, percussive drumming and a constant, heavy shushing. As thousands of woven palm fronds absorb and shed the immense volume of water, the sound is so dense, so all-encompassing, that it becomes a kind of silence. It is a wall of sound, a solid curtain of white noise that washes over everything, instantly erasing any stray thoughts, any lingering worries from the day. There is only the rain, the immense, overwhelming, cleansing sound of the rain. It is a sound so powerful it feels like a physical presence, pressing in from all sides, cocooning you in this small, sheltered space. And the sound is not singular. It is a symphony of percussion. Beyond the deep, muffled thrumming on the thatch overhead, you can hear a different note as the deluge smashes against the colossal leaves of the banana trees that grow right up to the edge of the veranda. These are not the gentle patter sounds of a temperate shower. This is a wild, chaotic drumming. Each leaf, as broad and long as a man's arm, becomes a resonant surface, and the rain crashes against them with a sound like wet laundry being slapped against a stone. A series of thick, fleshy, percussive thwacks, fey and faceplats fey. The sound is organic, vibrant, and alive. A counterpoint to the deeper roar from the roof. You can almost see them in the darkness. The great green leaves bucking and shuddering under the watery assault, bowing low and then springing back, flinging arcs of water into the churning air. The entire world outside your sheltered perch has been transformed into a single, moving, roaring element of water and sound. You swing gently in your hammock, a slow and steady pendulum, and the rhythmic creak of the ropes is a tiny familiar anchor in the midst of the storm's grand orchestra, Fay Creek. And sigh asterisk as you drift to the left towards the wooden wall of the house. Creak. And sigh asterisk as you drift back to the right. The oppressive stagnant heat of the evening has been broken, washed away. In its place is a cool, vibrant humidity that feels alive on your skin. With every slow breath you draw in, the air feels thick, heavy, and saturated with the scents of the earth. The primary fragrance is that of petrichor, the deep, rich, almost mineral smell of rain hitting dry soil, a scent that speaks of thirst being quenched, of life being renewed. It is a clean, elemental perfume that seems to wash through your very lungs, clearing away the dust of the day. You can detect the heady, almost intoxicating sweetness of night. Blooming jasmine, a perfume so potent it feels almost tangible. Beneath that is the greener. The combination of damp earth, wet wood, and blooming flowers creates a complex, intoxicating aroma that is unique to this very moment, to this very place. Beside your hammock, within easy reach, sits a small, low table carved from a dark, heavy wood. Its surface is slick with a fine mist of humidity. On the table rests a single glass, thick and heavy bottom, holding what remains of a measure of dark rum. The glass feels cool and substantial in your hand as you reach out for it, your fingers wrapping around its reassuring weight. The rum is the color of dark amber and liquid molasses, and as you lift the glass, the rich, sweet, and slightly sharp scent of sugarcane and charred oak barrels rises to meet you. You are in no hurry. You simply hold the glass, feeling its coolness against your palm, watching the way the faint ambient light from a distant doorway catches on its curved surface. The storm rages on, a relentless, roaring cascade. But here, in your gently swaying hammock, you are utterly safe, utterly dry, an island of calm in a world of beautiful chaos. The motion of the hammock is hypnotic, a slow, predictable rhythm that has already begun to work its way into your muscles, encouraging them to release, to grow heavy and slack. Your eyelids feel heavier now, the desire to close them growing with each lazy swing. The constant, overwhelming sound of the rain is a blanket, muffling the world, making it feel distant and unimportant. There is only the creak of the rope, the scent of the wet earth, and the gentle rocking motion that holds you. You allow your body to surrender more fully to the hammock's embrace. The tension you didn't even realize you were holding in your neck and shoulders begins to melt away. Your arms, resting at your sides, feel wonderfully heavy, their weight pressing them into the canvas. Your legs, fully supported, are soft and yielding. Your mind, which a short while ago might have been racing, is now quiet, becalmed by the sheer sensory input of the storm. There are no the sound of the rain is too loud, too complete, for any other noise to penetrate. It is a forced meditation, a cleansing of the mind as much as the land. You continue your slow swing back and forth, the groan of the rope, a constant, reassuring companion. Creak. And in this suspension, you find a profound sense of peace, a feeling of being exactly where you are supposed to be, with nothing required of you, but to rest slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. A change begins to occur in the soundscape. The overwhelming, deafening roar of the rain. The solid wall of sound starts to fracture. The furious all-out assault is lessening, its energy beginning to wane. The deep, rolling thunder that had been a constant, low rumble in the distance has moved on, its voice fading into a soft, guttural murmur far away to the east. The wind, which had been driving the rain in horizontal sheets, now dies down to a mere whisper, a gentle breath that stirs the air but no longer carries the force of the storm. The sound on the thatched roof above you softens, the heavy, frantic drumming giving way to a steadier, more rhythmic patter. You can hear the individual drops now, a million tiny hammers playing a softer and more intricate tune. The violent thrashing of the banana leaves subsides, replaced by a softer, rustling sound as they shed the last of the water, their broad surfaces glistening in the darkness. The storm is passing. The deluge is ending, and as the great volume of the rain recedes, a new world of sound begins to emerge from the silence it leaves behind. The first and most prominent sound is the dripping of water. Each drop lands with a clear, distinct note. It is a gentle, liquid percussion, a natural water clock counting out the slow, peaceful seconds of the night. Fake-link, plonk, plink, plonk. Asterisk, the rhythm is not perfect, not metronomic, but its gentle irregularity is deeply soothing. You can hear other drips as well. The soft patter of water falling from the broad banana leaves onto the saturated earth below. A sound that is softer, more muffled, almost a whisper. Your hammock continues its lazy, gentle sway. The creak of the ropes, now a more prominent voice in the quieter night. Fake creak and sigh. You can smell the very wood of the veranda itself, the dark, heavy mahogany releasing its own faint, resinous perfume into the humid air. You take a slow, deliberate breath, drawing this complex nocturnal bouquet deep into your lungs. And as you exhale, another layer of tension you were holding in your chest seems to depart with it. Your breathing is slower now. The canvas of the hammock is a warm, secure cocoon around you. And then a new sound begins. It starts with a single, tentative voice, a low, throaty, and surprisingly resonant call from the dripping foliage just beyond the veranda railing. Thwack asterisk. A short, liquid note, a moment of silence, and then it is answered by another. Weiss fra, quack, asterisk. Soon a third joins in, and a fourth, until the night is filled with a low, guttural chorus of tree frogs. Their call is not a shrill chirp, but a deep, resonant, almost purring sound, a vibrant, living hum that fills the spaces between the dripping of the water. It is a sound that feels ancient, fundamental, the very heartbeat of the wet, tropical night. The chorus rises and falls in natural waves, a symphony of tiny, throaty voices that is both hypnotic and deeply calming. It is the sound of a world saturated. You lie perfectly still, listening, allowing this new layer of sound to wash over you. The creak of the hammock, the drip of the water, the chorus of the frogs. Through a gap, the moon, nearly full, pours its soft, silvery light down upon the transformed landscape. The world, which was a moment ago a study in black and deeper black, is now painted in shades of silver and grey. The light catches on the millions of water droplets that cling to every surface. The broad banana leaves, still bowed with moisture, glisten as if they have been lacquered in silver. The intricate webs of spiders, strung between the veranda posts, are suddenly visible, each thread a shimmering line of tiny, perfect diamonds. The puddles on the garden path below are pools of liquid moonlight. The scene is one of exquisite, tranquil beauty, a world washed clean and illuminated. The beauty of the scene asks nothing of you. The gentle, rhythmic swaying of the hammock has become so familiar that you barely notice it anymore. It feels like the natural state of being, like floating on a calm, warm sea. Your limbs are heavy, so heavy as if they are made of stone and velvet. The thought of moving them is a distant one. An effort you have, a pleasant warmth spreads through your chest, a feeling of deep contentment and safety. The air is cool on your face, but your body, nestled in the canvas, is perfectly warm, perfectly comfortable. You can feel the slow, steady beat of your own heart, a quiet drum beneath the chorus of the frogs and the dripping of the water. Each beat seems to push you further down. Your eyelids are now almost fully closed, the silvery moonlight transforming into soft, hazy patterns behind them. The sounds of the night begin to merge, to blend into one another. The slow creak of the hammock is the final rhythmic anchor, the gentle metronome counting out your descent into sleep. Fake creak. There is only the feeling of being held, of being safe, of being rocked gently in the warm, fragrant darkness of a Jamaican night. The boundary between your body and the hammock, between your breath and the humid air, between your own heartbeat and the rhythm of the night, begins to dissolve. The last vestiges of conscious thought are fading, like ripples on a still pond, spreading out until they disappear completely. The scent of jasmine and wet earth is a soft pillow. The hum of the frogs is a warm blanket of sound. The gentle, unending sway of your hammock is the final, tender push into the deep, quiet harbour of sleep. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to feel but the slow, inevitable, and welcome pull of deep, restorative rest. Let the warm, wet, living night of 1760 hold you. Let its gentle rhythms guide you down, 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 down into a peaceful and uninterrupted slumber. Sleep now, sleep deeply. You are here, suspended between the dark, wet earth and the starless, weeping sky. You are held in the gentle, curving embrace of a thick canvas hammock, a sturdy, simple cradle strung across the wide, wraparound veranda of a plantation house in the Jamaica of 1760. It is midnight, and the world has been washed clean by a sudden, violent, and wonderfully absolute tropical downpour. The rain does not fall, it descends. It comes down not in drops, but in a solid, unyielding curtain of water. A liquid wall that hammers against the broad, waxy banana leaves and the dense thatch of the roof above you. The sound is immense, a deafening, rumbling roar that fills your entire consciousness, a great, rushing cascade of white noise that scours away every thought, every worry, every lingering echo of the day. There is no room for memory or anticipation inside this monolithic wall of sound. There is only the present, only the percussive, overwhelming, and deeply cleansing thunder of the rain. It is a sound so powerful and so complete that it becomes a form of silence, a total immersion that isolates you from everything but the immediate physical sensation of this very moment. The air, once hot and still, is now alive with movement and moisture. It is thick and heavy, saturated with the rich, primal scent of wet soil, a deep, loamy perfume that rises from the thirsty ground as it drinks in the deluge. Mingled with this earthy base is the intoxicating sweetness of tropical flowers, their fragrances awakened and released by the lashing rain. Night, blooming jasmine, unseen in the darkness, casts its heady, almost narcotic aroma into the humid air, a ghostly sweetness that drifts and eddies around you. There is the sharper, greener scent of crushed leaves and damp bark, and beneath it all, the subtle, clean smell of the rainwater itself. You breathe it all in, a slow, deep inhalation that fills your lungs with the very essence of the warm, wet night. The air is so laden with water that you can almost feel its weight on your skin. A cool, gentle mist that settles on your face and arms, a refreshing balm against the ambient warmth. You give a gentle push with your foot against the dark, polished wood of the veranda floor, and the hammock begins to sway. It is a slow, rhythmic, and deeply reassuring motion, a gentle arc through the humid air, back and forth, back and forth. A low, resonant creak emerges from the point where the thick, twisted hemp meets the smooth, sturdy wooden hooks, anchored deep within the ceiling beams. Screeeech, screeeech. Asterisk. The sound is not jarring but comforting, a steady, predictable percussion that joins the grand orchestra of the rain. The sound becomes a part of your breathing, a part of the slow, steady beat of your own heart. You swing away from the house, out towards the darkness of the garden, and then back again, towards the faint, warm glow of a lantern, left burning in a distant room. Beside your gently swaying form, a small, low wooden table stands steadfast. It is carved from a dark, heavy wood, its surface worn smooth by time and use, its legs thick and sturdy. On this table sits a heavy glass tumbler, half full of a dark amber rum. You are not drinking it now. The glass is simply there, a silent companion in the night, a faint, sweet and molasses. Heavy scent rises from the spirit, a subtle, warm counterpoint to the cool, earthy smell of the rain. As the hammock swings close to the table, you catch this warm, sugary fragrance, a reminder of the island's bounty, of sugarcane and spice, of warmth and slow time. The glass itself is cool to the touch, beaded with condensation from the humid air. Tiny droplets trace slow, meandering paths down its sides, merging and separating like miniature rivers, catching the distant lamplight and glinting like tiny fleeting jewels in the oppressive darkness. You watch them for a moment, mesmerized by their slow, silent journey. Another small rhythmic process in a night that is full of them. The thick, unbleached canvas is a surprisingly comfortable resting place. It is not soft, but it is yielding, conforming perfectly to the curve of your spine, the weight of your shoulders, the length of an arm slung lazily over the side. The fabric is coarse against your skin, a rustic texture that you can feel the weave of the threads, the slight roughness, a constant tactile reminder of your physical presence in this moment. Your weight sinks deeply into the canvas, and you feel a profound sense of release as your muscles, one by one, let go of their tension. Your shoulders, which you did not even realize were tight, the muscles in your back, so often held rigid, now lengthen and relax into the gentle curve of your suspended bed. Your legs feel heavy, your feet pleasantly leaden, and your head is cradled perfectly, supported by the taut fabric as if by a careful, loving hand. With every slow, pendulous swing, a gentle wave of relaxation washes over you. The motion is like being rocked as a child, a primal comfort that bypasses the thinking mind and speaks directly to a deeper, older part of your being. Phaseway and creak and sway. Asterisk. The rhythm is hypnotic. The world becomes a gentle blur of dark shapes and soft light at the periphery of your vision. The dark silhouette of the veranda railing, its surface gleaming and slick with rain. The deeper, more absolute blackness of the garden beyond, where massive leaves bow under the weight of the water. The distant, hazy rectangle of warm, yellow light from the window down the hall, a beacon of warmth and safety in the vast, wet darkness. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted down by the humidity and the deep, pervasive sense of peace. You allow them to close, not forcing them, but simply letting them drift, shut like heavy curtains. With your eyes closed, the world of sound becomes even more vivid, more detailed, more all-encompassing. It is the sound of shelter, the sound of being safe and dry, while the storm rages just inches away. You can hear the sharper, more metallic patter as the rain strikes the broad, tough surfaces of the banana and palm leaves in the garden, a sound like 1,000 tiny fingers tapping on taut drumskins. You can hear the gurgle and rush of water collecting and pouring from the eaves, channeled away from the house, in small temporary waterfalls that splash onto the soft earth below. And underneath it all, the constant, deep, rushing hiss of the rain itself, the sound of the air thick with falling water, a sound that has no beginning and no end. You lie perfectly still within this cocoon of sound, your body rising and falling with the slow, deep rhythm of your own breath. The swaying of the hammock gradually subsides as you cease to propel it, coming to a near-perfect stillness. The creaking of the ropes fades into silence, leaving only the symphony of the storm. And now you begin to notice a change. The monolithic wall of sound is beginning to soften, its edges fraying. The intense. As the volume of the rain diminishes, the world of sound begins to open up, to acquire depth and layers that were previously drowned out. The solid wall of noise fractures into individual notes. You can now clearly distinguish the sound of the runoff from the roof. No longer a gushing torrent, but a steady, measured stream. It splashes onto a large stone at the edge of the garden, creating a new, more delicate music. A rhythmic faplink, plonk, asterisk. A watery clock, marking the slow, unhurried passage of the night. The frantic tapping on the leaves quiets to a gentle, rustling patter, and in the space between the sounds, a new voice emerges. Faintly at first, and then with growing confidence, the tree frogs begin their nightly chorus. They have been there all along, of course, but their low, guttural calls were utterly submerged by the storm. Now their voices rise from the damp. Now one frog begins, and another answers from across the garden, and soon a complex, interlocking rhythm is established, a call and response that fills the newly created quiet. Their calls are the very voice of the wet, tropical night, a sound as ancient and as elemental as the rain itself. It is a sound that speaks of life, of resilience, of the world reawakening after the deluge. You listen to their song, letting the strange hypnotic rhythm wash over you, just as the rain did moments before. It is a sound that does not ask for your attention, but simply exists, a fundamental part of this warm, dark, and living world you now inhabit. The air is changing too, as the rain lightens to a steady, almost gentle shower. The thick, heavy humidity begins to thin just slightly. The coolness on your skin is less pronounced, replaced by the deep, abiding warmth of the tropical night reasserting itself. The smells shift as well. The sharp, clean scent of the rain itself recedes, allowing the other fragrances to bloom more fully. The perfume of the jasmine seems to grow richer, sweeter, its delicate notes no longer battered by the storm, but allowed to drift and hang in the stilling air. The deep, earthy scent of the wet soil remains, a solid, grounding foundation for the entire olfactory landscape. You can smell the damp wood of the veranda itself, a pleasant, slightly musty scent that speaks of age and permanence. You take another slow, deep breath, and it feels like you are inhaling peace itself. Your body sinks even deeper into the hammock, a heavy, boneless weight. A profound lethargy has settled into your limbs, a pleasant, spreading warmth that originates in your core and radiates outward to your fingertips and your toes. The hammock, now almost completely still, holds you in its perfect, gentle curve. You feel utterly supported, utterly safe. The boundary between your body and the canvas beneath you begins to blur, as if you are merging with your simple, sturdy cradle. Your mind, once scoured clean by the storm, is now as calm and still as a deep forest pool after the rain has passed. Thoughts may arise, but they are like clouds drifting across a vast empty sky. They appear for a moment, soft and indistinct, and then they drift away again, leaving no trace. You do not hold on to them. You do not engage with them. You simply observe them from a great, peaceful distance. As you lie here, suspended in the warm, fragrant dark, the rain has now softened into a whisper of its former self, a fine, misty drizzle that barely rustles the leaves. The dominant sound is now the steady, rhythmic dripping of water from the wide, thatched eaves. Each drop gathers at the edge of a piece of straw, swells, grows heavy, and then lets go, falling with a soft, distinct fatelip. Asterisk, onto the saturated ground below. Plip, plip. Asterisk. You can focus on a single drop, following its short, silent journey through the air, to the moment of its soft impact. You can listen to the collective sound of 1,000 such drops, creating a gentle, shimmering veil of sound that hangs in the air around the house. It is the sound of the storm's last breath, its final, gentle sigh as it moves on, leaving behind a world that is cleansed, renewed, and deeply, profoundly quiet. The chorus of the tree frogs continues its steady, rhythmic pulse, a constant, living heartbeat in the darkness. Asterisk. Brara dash up ... brrr dash up ... Asterisk. The sound is so regular, so unchanging, that it begins to merge with the dripping of the water, the two rhythms weaving together into a complex, hypnotic lullaby. There is no other sound, no wind, no human voice. Only the gentle after. You are completely alone, but you do not feel lonely. You feel secluded, sheltered, held in a private, peaceful bubble of time. The rest of the world, with its demands and its noise, feels 1,000,000 miles and 100 years away. Your whole being seems to sigh with relief. The tension you carry in your jaw begins to dissolve, and your teeth, which may have been lightly clenched, now part your tongue rests softly in your mouth. The tiny muscles around your eyes, so often held tight in a state of focus or concern, now go completely slack. Your brow is smooth and untroubled. A feeling of immense, liquid heaviness pools in your limbs, as if you are slowly sinking into a warm, deep body of water. It is a pleasant weight, a grounding sensation that anchors you to this place of perfect rest. The faint light from the distant lantern casts long, soft-edged shadows across the veranda floor. The shadow of a pillar is a deep, velvety slash of black against the dark, wet, gleaming wood. The shadow of the small table is a low, indistinct shape. The shadows seem to breathe, to shift and soften with the almost imperceptible flicker of the distant flame. They are not sharp or menacing, but soft and gentle, adding depth and texture to the darkness. The world is reduced to simple shapes, to shades of black and grey, and to the one small, distant patch of warm, amber light. Even with them closed, you can sense this gentle play of light and shadow, this deep and peaceful darkness that surrounds you. You are drifting. The present moment is one of deep, profound stillness, broken only by the soft dripping of water and the steady, throbbing call of the frogs. Asterisk. Plip ... brrr dash up ... plip ... brrr dash up ... Asterisk. The sounds are no longer separate, but have merged into a single, unified pulse, the gentle, rhythmic heartbeat of the sleeping world. Your own heartbeat has slowed to match this rhythm, a slow, strong, and steady beat that resonates deep within your chest. You can feel it, a gentle thrumming that reassures you of your own life, your own quiet presence in this peaceful night. It is an empty space, a dark, warm, and silent room. Sentences unravel into words, words into syllables, syllables into pure, meaningless sound. The boundary between your inner world and the outer world is becoming porous. You are the deep, quiet darkness. A final, gentle wave of relaxation rolls through you, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. You do not fight it. You welcome it, and as you let go, as you allow yourself to drift away on this slow, dark, and gentle tide, you feel a sense of profound rightness, of coming home to a place of deep, ancient, and dreamless peace. The night holds you, and you allow yourself to be held, sinking deeper and deeper into the warm, fragrant, and utterly peaceful darkness, sinking down, 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 down into the deep and healing quiet. You are here, in the deep, warm cradle of the night. The hammock, a curve of thick, unbleached canvas, holds you suspended between the dark wooden floor of the veranda and the even darker, starless sky. You are a single, gentle weight, held aloft by the groaning, patient strength of thick rope and iron hooks. The motion is a slow and deliberate pendulum swing, a rhythm you have fallen into without thought, a pulse that has become your own. A slight push of your heel against the damp, smooth planks of the floor is all it takes to renew the arc, to send you gliding back through the thick, humid air. The sound it makes is a language of its own, a deep and resonant creak from the taut ropes rubbing against the wooden beams of the porch ceiling, a drawn-out, sighing groan as the fibers stretch and settle with your weight face-scree. Onk! Asterisk goes the rope on its slow journey outward. Fei. Asterisk. It whispers on its return. It is not a gentle shower, not a patter of friendly drops. This is a deluge, a tropical torrent that has descended upon the plantation with a sudden and absolute force, a liquid wall that has fallen from the sky to enclose you in this small, safe space. The sound is a roar, a constant, textured waterfall that drowns out everything else. It is a sound so total, so complete, that it erases thought. There is no room for the worries of the day, no space for the plans of tomorrow. There is only the rain. You can hear its different voices as it strikes the world around you. There is the heavy, percussive drumming on the enormous banana leaves that crowd the edges of the veranda, a sound like 1,000 soft mallets on thick leather skins. Each leaf, broad and waxy, catches the water with a deep, resonant thump. Thump, thump, fei, shedding it in thick rivulets that splash onto the saturated earth below. Then there is the sound of the rain on the thatched roof above you, a different character entirely. It is a deeper, more absorbent sound, a dense and constant fish, as countless drops find their home in the tightly bundled palm fronds. It is not a sharp impact, but a soaking, a merging, a sound that speaks of shelter and of the deep, dry space that lies just beneath. The two sounds, the drumming on the leaves and the hissing on the thatch, blend together into a single, seamless curtain of noise. It is a presence, a physical entity that presses in from all sides. And yet it cannot touch you. You are dry and you are warm, cocooned in your gently swaying hammock, an observer in the heart of the storm. The air itself has been transformed. Before the downpour, now it is alive. It is thick with moisture, a fine, cool mist that you can feel on your cheeks and the backs of your hands, a welcome coolness against your skin. It carries with it the smells of the newly washed world. The most prominent scent is that of the earth itself. It is a deep mineral perfume, the smell of wet clay and stone and all the secret, sleeping life within the ground. It is the scent of petrichor, the heady, intoxicating sweetness of night. Blooming jasmine drifts in on the humid air, a thick, almost syrupy perfume that hangs like a ghost in the darkness. There is the fainter, fruitier scent of frangipani, and the spicy green aroma of crushed leaves and broken stems, all liberated by the force of the downpour. These smells swirl around you, mingling with the damp, woody scent of the veranda itself, the aged timber of the floorboards and railings, releasing its own quiet fragrance as it drinks in the moisture. Your body, which had been coiled tight with the lingering tensions of the day, has begun to let go. With every slow, rhythmic swing of the hammock, another knot of tightness seems to dissolve. Your shoulders, which you hadn't realized were held so high and tense, have dropped, settling into the supportive curve of the canvas. Face scree. Your arms lie limp at your sides, your hands resting softly on the canvas, your fingers curled loosely. You can feel the rough, heavy weave of the fabric beneath your palms, a sturdy and grounding texture. The hammock cradles your entire body, from the back of your head to the soles of your feet, a perfect, gentle pressure that feels like a full body embrace. There are no hard edges, no points of discomfort. There is only the even distribution. On the small, low wooden table beside you, a testament to an earlier, more wakeful moment, sits a heavy glass tumbler. It is half filled with a dark amber liquid, a local rum, rich and unrefined. You are not drinking it now. Your hand rests a subtle wisp of molasses and fermented sugarcane, a ghost of warmth and sweetness that briefly cuts through the cooler, cleaner smells of the rain and the earth. A single fat drop of rain, flung sideways by a gust of wind, lands on the wooden surface of the table with a distinct phatok, a sound that is sharp and clear against the broader roar. You watch the small, perfect dome of water tremble for a moment before it flattens and soaks into the thirsty wood, leaving a dark, circular stain that immediately begins to fade into the dampness of the surrounding surface. Another drop follows, then another, creating a small, irregular pattern on the tabletop, a miniature reflection of the grander storm playing out all around you. You can begin to distinguish the individual sounds once more. The drumming on the banana leaves is no longer a constant roll, but a more syncopated rhythm of distinct, heavy drops. The hissing on the thatched roof softens, becoming less a force and more a gentle shower. The storm is passing over, the immense pressure it exerted on the world, and on your senses, is beginning to lift. As the volume of the rain decreases, the world outside your immediate cocoon begins to re-emerge. Not in sight, but in sound. The space between the raindrops grows longer. The roar becomes a patter. The patter becomes a drip. Profound quiet begins to settle over the plantation, a quiet made all the more deep and resonant by the thunderous noise that preceded it. Your hammock continues its lazy, gentle swing, the creak of the ropes now seeming louder, more distinct in the receding clamour. Face scree, onk. The world dissolves into a comfortable darkness, a darkness populated only by sound and scent and sensation. With your eyes closed, the other senses become even more acute. The air feels cooler on your eyelids. The scent of the wet earth seems to grow richer, more complex. The feeling of the heavy canvas supporting your weight becomes more pronounced, a constant, reassuring pressure along the length of your spine. Your breathing is slow, and even now, a deep and effortless rhythm of inhale and exhale. Each breath in brings the clean, fragrant air deep into your lungs. Each breath out releases another layer of forgotten tension. The rain has almost stopped now. The only sound from it is the steady, rhythmic dripping from the eaves of the roof. It is a gentle, hypnotic percussion. Fake-link, plonk, plink, plonk. *each. Some fall onto the broad leaves below with a soft, fleshy tap. Others find the small puddles that have formed on the stone pathway, creating a higher-pitched, liquid fape-link fey. Still, others land on the wooden railing of the veranda itself, with a hollow, resonant fatok fayu. Can trace the journey of several different drips, following their individual rhythms, a complex and beautiful music created by the aftermath of the storm. It is a sound of absolute peace, the sound of the world slowly drinking its fill, settling into a deep and saturated stillness. And then, from the heart of that stillness, a new sound arises. It begins with a single, tentative call, a low, guttural, and deeply resonant fag, unk fake. For a moment, it hangs there alone in the quiet. Then, it is answered. From another direction, a second frog calls back, and then a third and a fourth, until the night is filled with their chorus. It is not a frantic or anxious sound. It is a steady, confident, and deeply ancient conversation. The frogs are celebrating the rain, celebrating the wet. Their calls overlap and harmonize, creating a rich, complex soundscape that is as soothing as the rain itself. It is the true voice of the tropical night, a lullaby that has been sung here for thousands upon thousands of nights, just like this one. Your body is almost completely still now. The hammock swing has dwindled to a barely perceptible drift, a slow, lazy sway that requires no effort from you at all. You have become one with its rhythm, your body a passive weight held in its gentle embrace. You feel a profound heaviness spreading through your limbs, a pleasant, leaden feeling that anchors you to the canvas. Your arms and legs feel impossibly heavy, as if they are sinking down into a deep, soft mattress. It is the feeling of letting go, of surrendering all effort, of allowing yourself to be completely and utterly supported. The warmth of the humid air wraps around you like a soft blanket, a comforting and consistent presence against your skin. A warmth spreads from the center of your chest outward, a slow, glowing ember of pure relaxation that moves through your torso, down into your hips, and along the length of your legs, all the way to the tips of your toes. It moves upward into your shoulders, melting away the last vestiges of tension, and down your arms to your fingertips. The chorus of the frogs continues its hypnotic, rhythmic song. Unk. The air is thick with the perfume of the damp earth and the sweet, heavy scent of the night-blooming flowers. Thoughts may arise, but they are like bubbles rising to the surface of a deep, calm pool. They appear for a moment, and then they gently pop, leaving no ripple behind. You simply observe them and let them go. Your breathing is so deep and so slow now that you are barely aware of it. It happens on its own, a gentle tide rising and falling, each breath drawing you deeper and deeper into a state of profound tranquility. The darkness behind your closed eyelids is no longer just a void. It seems to have a texture, a softness, like dark velvet. Here, on this veranda, suspended in time, wrapped in the warm, fragrant air, serenaded by the ancient chorus of the night, there is nothing for you to do. There is nowhere for you to be. There is only this moment of perfect, absolute stillness. You are sinking, drifting, melting into the warm, damp Jamaican night. You are held, you are safe, and you are deeply, deeply at peace. The sounds of the night, the dripping water, and the croaking frogs are the last thoughts you have. And they are not thoughts at all, but simply the gentle, rhythmic pulse of the world, rocking you slowly, gently, into the deepest sleep. And so you lie here, suspended in the warm, wet dark of a Jamaican midnight. You have traveled far to find this place of perfect stillness, this moment of absolute peace, carried back across the years to the deep, breathing heart of 1760. The world you left behind, with all its hurry and its noise, has dissolved, completely washed away by a sudden and torrential tropical downpour. Only the gentle sway of your hammock and the symphony of the storm. You are resting on a vast, wraparound veranda, a wide wooden deck that encircles the great house like a sturdy embrace. Above you, a thatched roof, thick and expertly woven, absorbs the main force of the deluge, while all around you, the colossal paddle, like leaves of banana trees and travellers' palms, bow and shudder under the weight of the water. The sound is immense, a solid wall of falling rain that is so dense, so all-consuming, that it becomes a form of silence. It is a sound that permits no thought, no worry, no memory of the day just past, or the day to come. It simply is a rushing, thrumming, roaring presence that fills the entire world, and in doing so, empties your mind of everything but the sensation of being here. It is a cleansing sound, a sound that scrubs the slate of your consciousness clean, leaving only a profound and grounding sense of safety. You are cocooned within this sound, sheltered beneath the deep eaves of the porch. The hammock you lie in is made of a heavy, thick canvas, its texture substantial and reassuring against your back and legs. It holds you securely, a woven cradle suspended between two thick timber posts of the veranda. With the slightest push of your foot against the floorboards, you set yourself into a slow, rhythmic sway. A deep, resonant creak accompanies each movement, a sound that is part rope, part wood, as the thick, fibrous cords that hold you aloft rub against the smooth, worn surface of the iron hooks drilled deep into the ceiling beams. Screeeech, groaning. Asterisk answers the wood of the post, a sound of immense strength and stability. The rhythm is slow, predictable, hypnotic, a gentle forward drift, a moment of weightless suspension, and a slow, easy glide back again. With every sway, the muscles in your shoulders, which you didn't even realize were tight, begin to soften and drop. The rhythm of the hammock is the rhythm of a deep and steady breath, and your own breathing begins to unconsciously slow down, matching its ancient soothing cadence. The air itself is a presence you can feel. It is thick, warm, and so saturated with moisture that you can almost taste it. It carries the scent of the storm, a complex perfume of the Jamaican night. There is the sharp, clean smell of petrichor, the fragrance released when rain falls on dry, sun-baked earth and stone. Beneath that is a heavier, richer aroma, the deep, dark smell of wet soil and decaying leaves from the jungle floor, a loamy, fertile scent that speaks of life and growth. And woven through it all is the intoxicating sweetness of tropical flowers, their fragrance amplified by the humidity. You can pick out the heady perfume of night, blooming jasmine, a scent like sweet cream and spice, and the softer, more delicate fragrance of frangipani, its petals bruised by the heavy raindrops. The wet wood of the veranda itself adds a faint, spicy, resinous note to the air, a smell of security and shelter. The world outside the shelter of this porch is being drenched, soaked, and reborn, and you are breathing in the essence of its transformation. Your hand rests, dangling over the side of the hammock, your fingers brushing against the cool, damp wood of the floorboards with each pass. Next to you, on a small three-legged table carved from a dark, heavy wood, sits a tumbler glass. It is a sturdy, thick, bottomed glass, and it holds the last of your evening's rum. You can see the tiny, glistening beads of condensation that have formed on the outside of the glass, a testament to the cool of the liquid meeting the warm, humid air. Without lifting your head, You reach out, your fingers finding the familiar, solid shape of the tumbler. The glass is cool and smooth against your palm, a pleasant contrast to the warmth of the night. You bring it closer, not to drink, but just to hold, to feel its reassuring. The aroma of the rum rises to meet you, a rich and complex scent that mingles with the fragrance of the rain. It smells of burnt sugar and molasses, of oak and vanilla from the barrel in which it aged. There is a faint, fruity note, like dried apricots and orange peel, and a spicy whisper of cinnamon and clove. It is a warm, comforting smell, a scent that speaks of slow time, of patience, and of the sweet, potent heart of the sugarcane that grows in the fields beyond. You let the glass rest on your chest, feeling its coolness seep through the thin fabric of your shirt, a small, localized anchor of sensation in the warm, swaying darkness. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted down by the humidity and the profound calm of the moment. They begin to droop. Screeeech. Groan. Asterisk. The sound is as familiar and comforting as your own heartbeat. You feel your body sinking deeper into the heavy canvas, your weight distributed perfectly, every muscle supported. The gentle motion travels up your spine, a soft rocking massage that lulls your entire nervous system into a state of deep repose. Your thoughts, once a rushing river, have slowed to a lazy meandering stream, drifting without purpose, catching on a scent here, a sound there, before floating on. The wall of sound from the rain is no longer a roar, but a deep, resonant hum, a white noise that blankets the world in a protective layer of sound. You are in a pocket of time, a sanctuary of sensation, and there is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, but right here, in this hammock, in this moment. Your body feels heavy and wonderfully relaxed. The slight coolness of the mist that drifts onto the porch feels refreshing on your face. It is a soft, gentle dampness, a kiss of the storm that reminds you of the power raging just beyond the safety of your shelter. You watch as the rain, illuminated by the distant soft light from the house, falls in thick silvery sheets. You can see it bounce off the wide, dark green banana leaves, shattering into a spray of 1,000 tiny diamonds before cascading to the ground below. The leaves themselves, so large and sturdy, dip and rise with the rhythm of the downpour, like great green lungs breathing in the storm. The sound it makes on them is different from the sound on the thatch, a deeper, more percussive patter, like a drum corps playing a soft. It splatters, losing its form for a moment before coalescing with a dozen others into a tiny rivulet. You watch as this stream of water finds a groove in the dark wood, flowing along the grain, a miniature river carving its path. It joins a larger flow, a sheet of water that coats the entire railing, making it gleam like polished obsidian in the dim light. Finally, it reaches the edge and drips off, a fat, heavy drop falling into the darkness below, its tiny splash completely swallowed by the greater sound of the rain. And another drop follows. Your gaze drifts upward to the underside of the thatched roof. In the faint light, you can see the intricate weaving of the palm fronds, dried and bound together with natural fibers. It is a masterpiece of craftsmanship, a dense, layered shield that keeps you perfectly dry. You can feel the safety of this structure in your bones, the deep, primal comfort of a sturdy roof over your head during a storm. Your body understands this safety on a level deeper than thought, and it allows you to let go completely. Your shoulders sink even further into the canvas, and a long, slow breath escapes your lips, a sigh of pure contentment. You take a moment to focus on the feeling of the air on your skin. It is not just wet, it presses on you with a gentle, consistent weight, like a warm, damp blanket. It is the feeling of the tropics, the palpable presence of life and water in the very atmosphere. It fills your lungs with each slow breath, a nourishing, vital force. The coolness of the mist is a welcome counterpoint to the warmth of your own body, creating a perfect equilibrium. You are neither too hot nor too cold. You are simply... Your body has found its perfect state of balance, and it signals its gratitude by sinking ever deeper into relaxation. As you continue to sway, your mind begins to drift into that beautiful, hazy space between wakefulness and sleep. The boundary between your body and the hammock seems to blur. The gentle rocking motion feels as though it is coming from within you, the rhythm of your own blood pulsing through your veins. The sound of the rain is no longer an external noise, but the sound of your own deep, slow breathing. The scent of the jasmine and the wet earth is not just in the air, but inside your mind, a fragrant dream that blossoms in the darkness behind your eyes. You are becoming one with the night, merging with the storm, dissolving into the peace of this perfect moment. And then, a subtle shift. You notice it first, not as a change, but as the emergence of a new layer of sound. The relentless, monolithic roar of the rain has begun to soften. The downpour is easing, its intensity lessening minute by minute. The solid wall of sound is starting to break apart, resolving back into the sound of individual drops. The deafening chorus is becoming a gentler, more spacious orchestra. You can begin to hear the different textures of the rain again, the soft, muffled drumming on the thatched roof, the sharper, more rhythmic fey-pitter, patter-fey on the giant leaves of the surrounding palms and banana trees. And now, a new sound emerges, the clear, distinct dripping from the eaves of the roof. The rain has lessened enough that the water is no longer falling in a solid sheet, but is gathering and falling in heavy individual drops, fey-plink, plonk. A drop that finds its way to a metal drainpipe makes a hollow, musical fey-plonk. Fey, you lie still in your hammock, the swaying slowing to a near stop, and you listen. You listen to this new, more intricate symphony. It is a slower, more meditative rhythm than the roaring downpour. Plink. You see the glisten of the wet leaves, the dark, gleaming wood of the porch, the soft amber light from the window, but your primary sense is now your hearing. You are listening with your entire body. You can feel the vibration of a particularly heavy drop as it lands on the wooden deck near your head. A faint fethud fey that you feel as much as you hear. The world is coming back into focus, but it is a softer, quieter, more detailed world than the one that was washed away by the storm. And as the sound of the rain recedes, another sound rises to take its place. It begins as a single, low, guttural croak from the damp bushes at the edge of the veranda. A tree frog, emboldened by the wet and the dark, is announcing its presence. Fegrach. Asterisk, the sound is deep and resonant, a vibration that seems to come from the very earth itself. A moment of silence follows, and then it is answered by another frog, further away, its call slightly higher in pitch. Fegrech. Asterisk, soon. A third joins in, and a fourth, and then a dozen, and then 100. It is a rich, textured, living sound that becomes the new wallpaper of the night. Some calls are short and percussive, like a finger tapping on a hollow log. Others are long and drawn out, a low, vibrating hum. They call and answer, their voices weaving together into a complex, hypnotic tapestry of sound. It is the sound of life returning after the storm, the sound of the island breathing. This chorus of frogs is an ancient lullaby, a song that has been sung on this island for millennia, every night, after every rain. And as you lie here listening, you feel a deep connection to that ancient rhythm, to the timeless pulse of the natural world. Your breathing is now in perfect sync with the night. A slow inhale as a frog calls. A long, slow exhale during the pause that follows. Your body is almost completely still, save for the gentle rise and fall of your chest. The hammock has settled into a state of near motionless suspension, cradling you in its gentle embrace. You feel a profound sense of stillness, a peace that settles deep in your bones. The last vestiges of tension have melted away, like sugar dissolving in warm water. There is only the sound of the dripping water and the chorus of the frogs. Fapling, G-gra. As the rain has stopped, the temperature has dropped by a degree or two, and the air feels fresher, cleaner. The heavy, oppressive humidity has lessened, replaced by a soft, cool dampness that is wonderfully refreshing. The scents have changed as well. The sharp smell of petrichor has faded, replaced by the persistent sweet perfume of the night. Blooming flowers and the rich, clean scent of the washed earth. It is the smell of a world scrubbed clean, a world at peace. You breathe it in, a long, slow, deep breath, and you can feel the clean, fragrant air filling your lungs, calming you from the inside out. Your mind is now a calm, still pool. The surface is placid, reflecting the soft darkness of the night. The chorus of the frogs and the dripping of the water are like soft pebbles dropped into this pool, creating gentle, expanding ripples of sound that flow through your consciousness without disturbing its peace. You are drifting now, floating on the edge of sleep. The boundary between your thoughts and the sounds of the night has dissolved. The fake-link fay of a water drop is a thought. The fagrark fay of a frog is a feeling. It is all one seamless experience of peace. Your body is so heavy now, so deeply relaxed. It feels as if you are sinking not just into the hammock, but through it into the very floorboards of the veranda, into the rich, dark earth below. It is a pleasant, grounding sensation, a feeling of being completely and totally supported, held by the gentle gravity of the earth itself. You have let go of all effort, all resistance. The last of the rum sits untouched on the table beside you, its cool glass, a silent witness to your descent into slumber. The faint light from the window seems to have grown dimmer, softer, its amber glow more gentle on your closed eyelids. The shadows it casts are long and soft-edged, swaying almost imperceptibly as a gentle breeze. The first, since the storm, begins to stir the leaves outside. This breeze carries a new scent, the distant, salty tang of the sea, a reminder of the vast, sleeping ocean that surrounds this island. It is a clean, expansive smell that seems to open up the space around you, making the world feel both vast and intimate at the same time. The dripping from the eaves is becoming less frequent. Now, the pauses between the drops grow longer, creating a sense of spaciousness. Plink, asterisk. Each sound is an event, a small, perfect anchor in the quiet sea of the night. You find yourself listening for them, waiting for them in the stillness, and the act of waiting draws you even deeper into a state of meditative calm. The chorus of the frogs continues its steady, rhythmic chant, a constant, reassuring presence in the background. It is the heartbeat of the sleeping island, and your own heart beats in time with it. Your journey is almost at its end. You have travelled from the roaring chaos of the storm to this place of profound and sacred stillness. You have been washed clean by the rain and rocked to sleep by the rhythm of the hammock and the lullaby of the frogs. There is nothing left to do now but to let go. Let go of this moment, of this place, and allow yourself to drift completely into the deep healing darkness of sleep. The sensations of the night will accompany you as you go. The memory of the cool, damp air on your skin, the lingering scent of jasmine and wet earth, the gentle, rhythmic call of the frogs, growing ever softer, ever more distant, as you sink down, 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 down to a deep and dreamless slumber. The warm, dark, breathing night of Jamaica will hold you safe until the morning comes. Sleep now, sleep deeply. Rest. The gentle, rhythmic creak of the hammock's ropes is the first sound that finds you, a familiar and comforting anchor in the warm, humid darkness. It is a sound of safety, of surrender, the slow, wooden groan of the thick ropes twisting against their iron hooks, a patient, repeating lullaby that has been with you for some time now. You are suspended here in the deep velvet of a Jamaican midnight, cradled in a sling of heavy canvas on the wide wraparound veranda of the great house. The storm, which had arrived with such theatrical fury, has now begun its slow, graceful retreat. The deafening wall of sound, that percussive deluge that hammered the thatched roof and the colossal banana leaves, has dissolved. It has washed the world clean, washed your mind clean, leaving behind only this profound and resonant quietude, a quietude that is not empty, but filled with 1,000 tiny living sounds. Your body is heavy, wonderfully heavy, sinking into the supportive curve of the canvas. One way, you glide towards the wooden balustrade of the veranda, where the faint ambient light from a distant lantern catches the glistening beads of water clinging to the rails, each one a tiny, perfect sphere holding a microscopic world of reflected light. The air over here smells of wet wood, of the dense, fibrous thatch of the roof, and of the sweet, heady perfume of night. Blooming jasmine, its fragrance released and amplified by the humid air. A ghostly and intoxicating sweetness that hangs like a silken veil. Then you swing back away from the edge, deeper into the veranda's shadows, where the air is cooler and carries the scent of the dark aged timber of the house itself, a scent of history and stability, and the faint lingering ghost of the rum in the glass on the small table beside you. The rhythmic journey back and forth is a gentle hypnotic pendulum, measuring out time not in seconds or minutes, but in breaths, in the slow release of tension from your muscles. The rain has not vanished completely. It has merely changed its voice. The roar has softened into a delicate and intricate symphony of drips. From the broad, sloping eaves of the thatched roof, water gathers and falls with a steady, unhurried rhythm. You can hear the different notes each drop plays as it lands. Some fall onto the wide, fleshy leaves of the plants below, producing a soft, padded fey-thump fey, a sound so gentle it is almost a feeling. Others find their way to the dark, damp earth in the garden beds that line the veranda, landing with a quiet fey pfft, a sound of absorption, of the thirsty ground drinking its fill. And still others tap against the exposed wooden planks of the veranda floor, just beyond the shelter of the roof, each one a clear, distinct phaeton, a tiny wooden bell ringing in the night. This chorus of drips is random, yet musical, a natural and unpredictable percussion. It is the sound of the world settling after a great sigh, and your own breathing begins to slow, to unconsciously match its patient, easy cadence. Your eyelids feel heavy, weighted with the warmth and the humidity of the night. You allow them to close. Instead, your awareness shifts, turning from the visual to the purely sensory. Without sight, the world expands. The creak of the hammock's rope seems deeper now, a resonant groan that you can feel as a low vibration traveling through the thick canvas and into your back, a gentle, tactile reminder of your slow, steady motion. The air itself feels more present, a soft, heavy blanket against your skin, moist and warm, carrying its complex perfume directly to you. You can pass the different scents now, isolating them one by one. There is the primary foundational scent of wet earth, that rich, loamy smell of petrichor, that speaks of life and renewal. Woven through it is the impossibly sweet, almost narcotic fragrance of the tropical flowers. A scent so thick you can almost taste it on the back of your tongue, and beneath it all, the subtle, sharp, molasses-tinged aroma of the dark rum, a ghost of sweetness and warmth that lingers from your earlier sip. And then the frogs begin. At first, it is just a single, low, resonant vagribit from the damp sanctuary of a broad-leafed fern near the steps. It calls once, then waits, listening in the dripping quiet. A moment passes, and then, from another direction, another frog slightly farther away, with a call a fraction of a tone higher. A third joins in, closer this time, from beneath the veranda itself, its voice muffled and bass, heavy. Soon, a chorus swells, a multi-layered choir of low, throbbing calls that rise and fall in natural, overlapping waves. They are not clamoring, they are conversing, a slow, ancient dialogue that has taken place on nights. Just like this for millennia, their song weaves itself into the gentle percussion of the dripping rain and the rhythmic creak of your hammock, creating a single, unified soundscape of profound peace. It is a sound that does not intrude upon your thoughts, but rather becomes them, filling your mind with its gentle, living pulse, pushing out everything else until there is only the sound, the motion, and the warm, fragrant darkness. The gentle, rocking motion is irresistible, a primal comfort that speaks directly to the oldest parts of your brain. With every slow arc, a layer of tension you didn't even know you were holding dissolves. You feel it in your shoulders as they drop and soften, sinking more deeply into the embrace of the canvas. You feel it in your jaw as it unclenches, your lips parting slightly. You feel it in the small muscles around your eyes as they smooth out, releasing the faint frown of the day. Your hands, resting on your stomach, feel heavy and warm, your fingers limp and relaxed. The hammock holds you completely, taking on your full weight, asking for nothing in return but your trust. And you give it freely, surrendering to its gentle, insistent rhythm back and forth. You are sheltered. You are here in this perfect moment, and there is nothing else. You can feel the subtle shift in the air as a light breeze, a follower of the rain, drifts across the veranda. It is not a cold breeze, but a cool one, a gentle current of air. It rustles the giant waxy leaves of the banana trees, creating a dry, papery, whispering sound that contrasts beautifully with the wet dripping of the rain. The breeze carries with it a new collection of scents from deeper in the gardens. The faint, spicy aroma of crushed ginger leaves, the clean, green smell of ferns and mosses. It is a breath of fresh, living air that momentarily clears the heavy sweetness of the jasmine, a reminder of the vast breathing jungle that surrounds this small pocket of tranquility. The breeze stirs the half-full glass of rum on the table, and for a moment its sharp, sugary scent becomes more prominent, a fleeting thought of warmth and spice that quickly dissipates back into the complex perfume of the night. The motion of the hammock is beginning to slow. The wide, pendulous arcs are gradually becoming shorter, the energy of your last gentle push slowly succumbing to gravity and friction. The creak of the ropes becomes less frequent, the pauses between each groan growing longer, more drawn out. The sound is now a slow, deep screeeech, asterisk followed by a long moment of near silence, and then another, equally slow screeeech, asterisk as you drift back again. Your body, now so deeply relaxed, does not fight the change. Your breathing, which had matched the rhythm of the drips, now seems to match this new, slower rhythm of the hammock. Each inhale and exhale becoming longer, deeper, more deliberate. The ropes have fallen silent. Now, the soundscape is purely the sound of the world outside your small, suspended cocoon. The dripping from the eaves continues, a steady, hypnotic metronome. A single drop falls from a leaf onto a puddle below, and you can hear the delicate fate link, followed by the faint concentric ripples of sound expanding outwards. The chorus of frogs has settled into a steady, low thrum, a resonant hum that vibrates at the very edge of hearing, a constant, living drone that underpins the entire night. You can hear, if you listen closely, the tiny, almost inaudible sounds, the faint rustle of a gecko moving across the wooden ceiling beams above you, its tiny feet making a sound like dry leaves skittering across stone, the distant, high-pitched hum of night insects, a sound so far away it is more a feeling in your ears than an actual. Your body is a vessel of warmth and weight. You can feel the gentle pressure of the thick canvas along the entire length of your back, a firm but yielding support that seems to hold you in a perfect state of equilibrium. A pleasant warmth has pooled in your chest and is now spreading slowly outwards, down through your arms, to the very tips of your fingers, and down through your legs, to the soles of your feet. It is the warmth of deep relaxation, of blood flowing freely through untensed muscles. Your mind, which was once filled with the thoughts and worries of the waking world, is now blessedly empty. It has become a quiet, open space, filled only with the gentle sounds of the tropical night. The dripping water, the thrumming frogs, the whispering leaves, these are your only thoughts now, and they are not thoughts at all, but sensations, pure and simple, washing over you in gentle waves. The last of the hammock's motion has ceased. You are completely still, suspended in the warm, fragrant air. The stillness is not rigid or tense. It is the stillness of deep water, of a forest floor, of a sleeping world. Your awareness turns inward. You can feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath, a motion so slight it is almost imperceptible. Each breath you draw in is cool and clean, carrying the scents of earth and flower. Each breath you release is warm and soft, carrying away the very last remnants of tension, the final lingering echoes of the day. You are simply here, breathing, existing in this perfect, quiet moment, a part of the peaceful, sleeping landscape. The boundary between you, the warmth of your own body feels indistinguishable from the warmth of the humid air. The gentle pulse of your own heart seems to merge with the low, thrumming chorus of the frogs. The scent of the damp earth and the sweet jasmine feels as if it is emanating from within you, a part of your own being. You are not an observer of the night anymore. Your thoughts, if they can be called thoughts, are no longer linear or logical. They are drifting images, fragments of sensation. The image of a single, perfect water droplet clinging to the tip of a leaf, shimmering in the faint moonlight. The feeling of the rough, fibrous texture of the hammock's ropes. The taste of the sweet, dark rum on your tongue. These fragments drift by like clouds in a slow-motion sky, unattached, unhurried, leading you gently downwards, ever downwards, into the soft, welcoming depths of sleep. The very air seems to be growing heavier, softer, like a thick velvet blanket being gently laid over the world. The sounds are beginning to soften as well, their sharp edges blurring, melting into one another. The distinct fatok fey of the dripping water, the resonant fagribbit fey of the frogs, the whisper of the leaves, they are all slowly merging into a single, continuous and deeply soothing hum. It is a sound that exists on the very threshold of consciousness, a gentle, constant drone that fills the space behind your closed eyes. This is the sound of deep night, the sound of rest, the sound that the world makes when it is dreaming. And your own consciousness is dissolving into it, letting go of its hold, allowing itself to be carried away on this soft. Your breathing is now so slow, so quiet. You are barely aware of it at all. It has become an automatic, effortless process, as natural and unconscious as the beating of your own heart. Your limbs feel impossibly heavy, as if they are made of warm stone, anchoring you to this place of perfect peace. Deep. There is no need to think, no need to do, no need to be anything other than what you are in this moment. A soul at rest, cradled by the night, soothed by its gentle lullaby. The darkness behind your eyes is no longer a void, but a soft, welcoming space, a sanctuary where you can finally let go completely. And as you drift on the edge of this deep and dreamless ocean, the sounds of the Jamaican night become your final companions on the journey. The steady, patient drip, drip of the water from the eaves, a gentle and constant reminder to let go. The low, resonant thrum of the hidden frogs, a deep and ancient vibration of peace. The soft whisper of the breeze through the wet leaves, a final, gentle caress. These sounds will stay with you as you sink, weaving themselves into the fabric of your dreams, ensuring that your rest is deep and uninterrupted and profoundly peaceful. Allow yourself to sink now, to let go completely. There is nothing more required of you. Simply rest, sleep now, sleep deep. Let go of the day that has been, and allow the world outside your room to gently fade away. Release your hold on any lingering thoughts, any plans for tomorrow, any memories of yesterday. All that is required of you now is to be here in this quiet space and to breathe. Take a slow, deep breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs. And as you exhale, feel a wave of softness move through you, loosening the muscles in your shoulders, your neck, and your jaw. With each breath, you drift a little further from the shores of the waking world, floating gently into a place of deep and profound calm tonight. You find yourself transported, carried on the warm, humid air of the Caribbean, back to the year 1760. You are in Jamaica, on a sprawling plantation estate, nestled deep within the island's lush and verdant interior. It is just past midnight, and a sudden, furious tropical downpour has just swept across the land, a deluge that arrived without warning and has only just begun to relent. You are not caught in the storm. You are sheltered, safe, and deeply comfortable, lying in a thick canvas hammock strung across the corner of a wide wooden wraparound veranda. The house behind you is dark and silent, its inhabitants long since surrendered to sleep. You are entirely alone in the warm, wet darkness, suspended between the solid floorboards below and the thatched roof above. For a time, the rain was a solid entity, a deafening wall of sound that consumed everything. It hammered against the immense paddle, like banana leaves in the garden, creating a frantic, percussive roar. It battered the tightly woven thatch of the veranda roof, a sound so dense and overwhelming that it seemed to press in on you from all sides. A cleansing cascade that washed away all thought, leaving only the pure, primal sensation of the storm. But now, the deluge is passing. The solid wall of noise has begun to fracture, to break apart into a million smaller. The roar has softened into a heavy, resonant drumming, the sound of a storm moving on, rolling away over the distant hills, its anger spent. The air, once crackling with energy, now settles into a thick, heavy stillness, saturated with the sense of the newly washed world. It is an atmosphere of immense peace, of a world cleansed and quieted. You lie perfectly still within the thick, sturdy embrace of the hammock. The coarse, heavy canvas is a comforting weight beneath you, conforming perfectly to the curve of your spine, holding you securely as you float in the humid air. With a gentle push of your foot against the dark polished floorboards, you set the hammock into a slow, lazy sway. The movement is hypnotic, a long, unhurried arc from left to right, and then back again. With each swing, the thick, fibrous ropes that suspend you from the heavy wooden ceiling beams groan with a deep and rhythmic friction. It is not a sharp or unpleasant sound, but a low, sonorous creak, a drawn-out fey-re-ea-ea, fey as the rope tightens and pulls against the dark, weathered wood of the hooks, followed by a corresponding fight-ea-ea, fey as the tension releases on the return swing. The sound becomes a steady, predictable rhythm in the night, a mechanical lullaby that measures out the slow, quiet passage of time. Fey-re-ea-ea, a triple I-I-E, asterisk, the sound of well-worn rope and solid wood. It is a sound of safety, of being held fast in the darkness. Your body sways with this gentle, rocking motion, and you feel your muscles releasing their last vestiges of tension. Your shoulders, which you didn't even realize were tight, drop and soften. The gentle curve of your lower back sinks more deeply into the canvas. The rhythmic sway travels up your spine, a gentle rocking cadence that lulls your entire nervous system into a state of profound tranquility. A slow inhale as you swing to one side, and a long, full exhale as you drift back to the other. Earlier, the spirit's initial warmth had spread through your chest, a pleasant, anchoring heat that has now faded into a comfortable, weighted lethargy. Now the glass is simply an object in the deep, velvety darkness. A faint sheen of condensation has formed on its cool surface, capturing the diffuse, ambient light of the night. You can smell its sweet molasses, rich aroma mingling with the other scents of the evening, a dark, sugary note woven into the tapestry of the humid air. The rum smells of sugarcane and charred oak barrels, a scent that is as much a part of this island as the soil and the sea. As you continue your slow, rhythmic rocking, your attention is drawn more fully to the sounds of the receding storm. The heavy drumming on the roof has now subsided almost completely, replaced by a much softer, more intricate music. Each drop is a distinct note in a complex, ever-changing composition. You can hear the fat, heavy fey-plops fey of water falling from the saturated edge of the thatched eaves, landing in the growing puddles on the dark stone pathway just beyond the veranda. Each drop lands with a full, rounded sound, creating a tiny, echoing splash, its ripples invisible in the darkness. Then there is a different sound, a sharper, quicker, fey-tick, tick of smaller droplets falling from the tips of the broad banana leaves. They land on the other, still, damp leaves below, creating a sound like 1,000 tiny, gentle fingers tapping on taut drum skins. It is a faster rhythm, a delicate counterpoint to the slow, heavy dripping from the roof. You can trace the journey of a single drop, hearing it gather and fall, hearing the soft impact, a tiny event in the vast, quiet night. You begin to notice the subtle variations in tone. A drop landing on a large, flat leaf makes a different sound from one landing on the soft, loamy earth of the garden bed. A drip that finds its way to a puddle makes a sound entirely different from one that strikes the hard, smooth surface of a stone. The world has become an orchestra of water, each drop a carefully played note in a symphony of immense and intricate peace. It carries with it the rich, complex perfume of the tropical night, a scent made all the more potent by the cleansing rain. The dominant fragrance is that of wet earth, a deep, loamy, mineral, rich smell that speaks of fertility and life. It is the scent of the dark soil in the gardens, now thoroughly soaked, releasing its ancient organic perfume. Woven through this earthy bass note is the intoxicating sweetness of night-blooming flowers, the powerful, heady scent of jasmine almost dizzyingly sweet, drifts in from the trellises that climb the veranda posts. There is the subtler, more delicate fragrance of hibiscus, their petals heavy and bowed with rainwater. These floral notes are not sharp or cloying. They are softened by the humidity, blended into a single seamless perfume that hangs in the air like a fine mist. You can also detect the clean, woody scent of the damp veranda itself, the smell of the cedar posts and the teak floorboards, their natural resins awakened by the moisture. It all combines into a single soporific aroma, the unique and unforgettable scent of a tropical night after a cleansing rain. You allow the hammock's momentum to slowly fade, the arcs of its swing becoming shorter and shorter, the creak of the ropes becoming slower and more drawn. Out. Fei ei ea. Triple IIE. Asterisk. Until, at last, you are now completely still, suspended in the warm, fragrant darkness. And in this stillness, a new layer of sound emerges, rising up from the garden to fill the space left by the fading rain. It is the chorus of the tree frogs, hidden in the dense, wet foliage of the crotons and ferns. They begin their nightly serenade. It starts with a single low-pitched guttural Feithrum Fey, a resonant vibration that seems to come from deep within the damp undergrowth. Anatha answers from a different direction, slightly higher in pitch. Soon, a third and a fourth join in, and within moments, the night is filled with their calls. It is a complex and layered chorus, a living tapestry of sound. There are the low bass notes of the larger frogs, a steady pulsing drone that forms the foundation of the chorus. Woven over this are the clearer, more melodic chirps of smaller species, their calls like tiny liquid bells. They call and respond to one another across the garden, their voices overlapping, creating a rich and hypnotic polyphony. The sound is everywhere and nowhere at once. The sound wraps around you like a thick, soft blanket, its steady, organic rhythm far more soothing than any silence could ever be. It is the heartbeat of the jungle night, and it seems to slow your own heart down to match its patient, peaceful cadence. Your body sinks even more deeply into the hammock, feeling boneless and heavy, as if you are merging with the canvas that holds you. A profound sense of safety envelops you. Here, on this secluded veranda, you are completely sheltered from the world. The dark, silent mass of the great house stands behind you, a bastion of quiet and security. There is only the feeling of the warm, heavy air on your skin, the complex perfume of the night in your nostrils, and the symphony of the post-rain world in your ears. Your mind, once so active, has become as still and quiet as the night itself. Thoughts may arise, but they are like distant clouds, drifting lazily across the vast expanse of your awareness. Without ever taking hold, you do not follow them. You simply watch them float by and disappear. The feeling of your own slow, deep breathing, the weight of your limbs, the soft, persistent chorus of the frogs, the occasional, gentle fate-blink fay of a water droplet, finding its way from a leaf to the stone below. The clouds overhead must be starting to break apart, because a new quality of light is filtering down into the garden. It is not bright. Moonlight, diffused by the remaining haze, bathes the tops of the banana leaves in a pale silvery sheen. Each wet leaf gleams, transformed into a sliver of polished metal in the darkness. The light doesn't penetrate deep into the garden, it only touches the highest surfaces, leaving the undergrowth in a profound and impenetrable blackness. Shadows that were once a uniform dark now have depth and texture. The shadow of a veranda post is a long, soft-edged shape stretching across the floorboards. The shadow beneath a broad fern is a pool of absolute velvety black. The world is rendered in shades of silver and charcoal, a beautiful monochromatic dreamscape. You watch this play of faint light and deep shadow, your eyes half closed. You are not really seeing, but simply absorbing the peaceful tableau before you. Your focus is soft, your gaze unfixed. The moonlight catches the film of moisture on a single, perfect hibiscus petal, making it glow for a moment, like a tiny lantern before a passing cloud smothers the light once more. The beauty of it is quiet, understated, and deeply calming. It asks nothing of you but to witness it. Your breathing is so slow and regular now that you are barely aware of it. It has become part of the night's rhythm, as natural and effortless as the calling of the frogs. You feel the slow rise of your chest on the inhale, and the complete release on the exhale. With every breath out, you let go a little more. You release the memory of your own name, the story of your life, the very idea of yourself as a separate entity. You are simply a point of awareness, floating in a sea of sensations. The air begins to feel even cooler on your skin as the process of evaporation accelerates. It is a gentle, pleasant coolness, a welcome contrast to the deep internal warmth of your relaxed body. You can feel the moisture slowly lifting from your arms, from your face, a subtle and refreshing sensation. The temperature is perfect for sleep, warm enough to feel cozy and secure, but cool enough to be refreshing. The sounds of the night continue their gentle, hypnotic drone. The chorus of frogs is a constant, a living wall of sound that insulates you from any other possible disturbance. Its ancient, unchanging nature is profoundly reassuring. Within that chorus, you can still hear the patient, rhythmic dripping of the last of the rainwater, a slow, gentle percussion that is gradually, almost imperceptibly, winding down. The intervals between the drips grow longer, a fay-plop fay, then a long silence. The storm has truly passed. Your consciousness is dissolving, its edges becoming soft and indistinct, like a watercolor painting left out in the rain. The boundary between your body and the hammock, between your breath and the humid air, between your own inner quiet and the quiet of the night, has all but disappeared. You are the stillness in the hammock, the warmth in the air, the quiet listening to the frogs. The world fades to pure sensation, the deep, resonant thrum of the night, the heavy, sweet scent of jasmine and wet earth, the feeling of being held, suspended, and perfectly safe. There is nothing left to hold on to. There is only the gentle, inexorable pull of deep, restorative sleep. Let the darkness, let your mind be as clear and calm as the air after the rain. There is only peace here. There is only rest. And so, as the last slow drop of water falls from a leaf and lands with a final soft sigh upon the damp earth, you let go completely, sleep deeply,